My name is Christopher Klotz, Director of Spiritual Formation at Lipscomb University within the Athletics program. We hope and pray that this monthly email serves to encourage you and challenge you and inspire you to continue living out the call that God has placed on your life to make a difference in the world, in the environment of sports. If you are seeing this video not through that monthly email and you would like to be a part of that distribution list receiving this monthly resource, please shoot me an email at cpklotz, that's Klotz, at lipscomb.edu. This month, I just want to share three significant words that God has used to really change my life and change my story. These three words were shared to me by Dr. Earl Lavender, who's the Director of Missional Studies here at Lipscomb University. These three words that he shared were renewal through participation. When I heard those words at first, I didn't think too much of it. And God began to unravel in my heart a little bit more understanding of what it means to be renewed through participating. This is a renewal of our hearts, our minds, our souls, and our bodies through participating in the ways that God has created life to happen. And so when I think about this word renewal, it makes a lot of sense in the context of athletics. You see, we all understand what this looks like in three different levels of participating. On the first, you can be a spectator. You can show up to a game or a competition and you can just watch. And simply said, I don't think that this is the way that God designed our lives to be. Living out our faith is not a spectator sport. And so the second wave of understanding this idea of participating is by being on the team, but not being actively involved in the game, right? You're closer, but you're not actively participating. And the third, I believe, is the way that God has called each one of us to live, and that is this active participation, right? This is when coach calls your name and asks you to get into the game. And we all understand when you're in the game, when you're actually competing, everything changes. Your mind, your mentality, your focus, the posture of your heart and your body, everything about you, it changes because you are actively participating. And this is the way I believe that God has called us to live. I want to take us to one story in the scriptures found in Matthew 14. It's a story of Jesus being out on the water and Peter in the boat saying, Jesus, if it's really you, call me to come to you. And so Jesus says, okay, come, Peter, come, walk to me. And Peter does. He steps out of the boat and he walks and he notices the wind and the waves and he takes his eyes off of Jesus and he begins to sink. And he says, Lord, save me. And Jesus faithfully reaches his hand into the water and he pulls Peter out. Now, a lot of times the teaching point of this story is that Peter was walking and he gets distracted and he takes his eyes off of Jesus, and we say to fix our eyes on Jesus. But what I want to focus on today is a little bit different. It's the fact that Peter actually stepped foot out on the water and began to walk to Jesus. You see, the scriptures say that when he went back in the boat, right, Peter was the only one who was wet. I believe living life with Jesus, this is a posture and is an example that we are to be completely soaked from our head to our toes because we're actively pursuing the ways that God has called us. And He then begins to renew us. This is not a self-renewal or a self-help production. This is renewal by the Holy Spirit through participating with the way that God has called us to. And so this month, the challenge and the encouragement would be that your mind and your heart and your soul and your body would be renewed by God as you participate with Him in what He's doing in the world.